Good evening, everybody. Thanks for stopping in to my channel. Um, Hopefully, you got a chance to listen to the six-part short series and then my little short video on change. But as I promised, I am going to continue sharing about my story and my journey from my little girl crushes on women, older women, not anybody, but particular women, and um, my exposure to pornography and its impact on my thoughts about myself and its impact on my sexuality. And and I think that's kind of where I left off before. Let me do mention that make sure to subscribe. Subscribe. Yeah, we might become a tribe. Could be subscribe. But make sure that you subscribe to the channel and that you like the videos. That, of course, will help other people who may need to hear my story, hear this content. It'll help them find it. And, of course, if you enjoy it, also share it with someone that you know and like and you think might benefit from this information. And then make sure to hit that bell because I'll be posting pretty regularly all kind of content, and so you don't want to get behind or miss something that that'll be helpful to you. So I think I stopped at the slumber party. The slumber party that I went to when I think I was probably 8 or 9 or 10, fourth, about the fourth or fifth grade, and I got exposed to pornography, pornography books at the slumber party, um, where the host, the host kid, we were all about the same age, went under her brother's bed to snoop around and look at the books. And in the pornography books, we saw men with women, men with men. Of course, I knew about men with men somehow just listening to the negative speech from people at church, just people in general call men, being with men, all kinds of horrible names. But I didn't know that women could be together in that way. And so seeing those pictures at the slumber party just seemed to give my attractions, my obsessions, my crushes on older women, it seemed to define, gave it a definition. Um, my thoughts hadn't been sexual before that time. I just enjoyed uh, the attentions, the being around, the opportunities to be around these particular people, and then the sexual element came in, and you know, opened up an imaginary world for me that I fantasized all through grade school, all through junior high and high school, and all throughout those years, I would have fixations on particular women, usually my teachers, and um, in high school, I had this really, really, really serious um, attraction to a particular teacher who was very friendly with me and just, you know, took me under her wings, and I was teacher's pet, and um, there was just a really, really strong attraction, and I struggled. I struggled to get my courage up to actually um, maybe try to initiate some type of physical action with her. Thank God I didn't. Um, I don't know if she knew. I think she did, but I don't think that she was interested. And even if she was, I was her student, and that would have been a whole nother issue. And of course, my little mind didn't know any of that stuff. I was just being driven by my thoughts, my feelings, and my emotion. That's a time of life where young people are developing hormonally and sexually, and so sexual feelings and thoughts, they're normal for that period of an individual's life. So, um, you know, my identity, my sexual identity, was being challenged, and I was conflicted because I was taught that it was wrong, and it was morally wrong, and that as a Christian you couldn't engage in that kind of behavior. There was heavy social taboo. Um, when I was young, not as bad as 10 or 20 years earlier than my time, but it was not socially accepted, and so there was a big stigma associated with it, and so I didn't want that stigma. I didn't want God to be unhappy with me, and so I was caught up in fantasy at one point, and then feeling low and down and condemned because I thought, you know, God didn't love me or God wasn't happy with me. You know, I really don't think then that I believe God didn't love me. I've always had a good, positive relationship with God, perspective, thought paradigm about me and God. And I didn't think He did not love me, but I didn't think He was totally pleased with me when I was in these fixating, fantasizing modes. And of course, when you start fantasizing at, you know, 12, 13, then you discover masturbation. And then that becomes part of your experience. And so this whole thing just begins to evolve into something greater than just a crush, and it starts to become an obsession and a compulsion that begins to take over quietly your life in ways that you really hadn't anticipated. So that's a really, really, really short account of how um, my same gender attraction began to unfold, and uh, and it was largely out of affection, a need for affection, a need to give it, and a desire to receive it as well, and without any understanding initially from a pure place, and then it, I think it got contaminated. I think that's a good word, with um, illicit sex from sexual exposure from pornographic books. Okay, so I'm going to pause here, or maybe I'll cut the video here and pick up in another one. The point of this is to let you know that everybody has encountered things in their lives that they want to change, or they started out one way, they've engaged in behavior for a long time, it hasn't worked. You've been a a block trying to stick yourself in a circle, and there have been all kinds of negative, unproductive things that have happened as a result of some choices that you made, some relationships that you've engaged with, and now you've come to a point to where you want to do something different. And the reality for me, I believe, is that you can do something different. You can change your mind, you can change your thought paradigms, you can change your behavior, and your feelings and desires are largely a product of your thought life, and you can change your thought life. And aside beside all of your natural abilities to make changes, I believe there is the added benefit of the supernatural power of God to help you understand why you have the feelings, the thoughts, the inclinations, the obsessions, to uncover that and to enable you to make a change. The important thing about this is that it has to be something that you truly want. It has to be a heartfelt desire to do something different. And I'm here to let you know that it can be done. It's not necessarily easy. And the longer you are in a particular type of lifestyle, or you engage in certain kind of behavior or habits, the longer you do it, the more challenging it can be to change. But it's not impossible, and it is totally doable. Totally doable. So stay tuned for the next video. Again, like the video, subscribe, and tell somebody else about my channel. Thanks for stopping in, and let me find the off button. Have a good evening.